In today's presentation, we will discuss what exactly is an e-signature and why handwritten signatures are still important today. But before we go any further, let me introduce myself and my institute. My name is Nico Kalantzis. I have a BSc in Physics, a postgraduate diploma in Forensic Science, an MSc in Question Documents, and a diploma in Question Document Examination from the Forensic Science Society. And I'm also a member of the steering committee of the European Network of Forensic Handwriting Experts. I am written in the table of experts of Athens and Piraeus. I served for a decade as a visiting research fellow at Staffordshire University, where I'm currently serving as a researcher. I'm a professional member of the Chartered Society of Forensic Science. I'm a member of the International Forensic Science Council in Dubai and the president of the Scientific Committee of the Hellenic Association of Forensic Sciences. I also work as an expert and manager of Chartoularios Institute. Chartoularios Institute of Questions Document Studies is a private laboratory and institute centered in Piraeus, Greece. It's an associate member of the NFEX. We have a team of trained examiners, a fully equipped laboratory. We employ the AA peer review system per case, and we are very active in research projects and collaborations. Furthermore, we provide training services and webinars, so be sure to check out our webpage and our mailing list for upcoming events. Finally, our institute has specialized in digitally captured signature technology, and we provide calibration services for digitizer hardware and solution evaluations. Now let's discuss a little bit about the signature as a means of authentication. Why do people prefer to use a signature as their to-go biometric security feature? The signature has a very long history. The first autograph, meaning the first handwriting used to identify a person, is more than 5,000 years old. And ever since, the signature has been used as a means of authentication. But it was not until 1677 when the English Parliament, with the Statute of Frauds Act, recognized the handwritten signature not only as a means of authenticating a transaction, but as a requirement in order for specific contracts to be legally valid. So we can see that the handwritten signature has a very long history, but is it still relevant today? If we look at the United States presidential elections of 2020, we will immediately recognize the importance of the handwritten signature, as that security feature was a requirement for the mail-in vote. Depending on the state, for the mail-in vote to be valid, the signature of the voter has to be present. And that signature is examined by an election judge in order to determine whether the mail-in ballot is valid or not. This was a very important topic, and in October 2020, the New York Times published an article regarding the process with which the authenticity of the handwritten signature and therefore the validity of the mail-in ballot was examined. But enough with the traditional pen and paper signature. So the question remains, what exactly is an e-signature, also known as a biometric signature or a digitally captured signature? E-signature technology captures the position of the tip of the stylus at a given time interval. Not only that, It also captures the force exercised by the tip of the stylus on the digitizer. And with doing that, the e-signature includes biometric data. The biometric data are stored in a digital file in a numerical form. Taking advantage of the numerical form of the biometric data, the expert or the institution has the option to choose different visualizations depending on the use of the biometric data. Comparing the e-signature to the paper version of the handwritten signature, we immediately realize the many capabilities of visualization that are available to the expert. Using the captured biometric data, the expert can visualize more aspects of the handwritten motion and therefore enhance their forensic examination capabilities. So, what is the status of equivalence between pen and paper and e-signatures? Pen and paper signatures are personal, legal, and safe. E-signatures meet all these criteria in their equivalence to the pen and paper signatures. They are personal because they provide the same familiar experience to the user. They are legal because they enjoy recognition from the eIDAS regulation and national legislation. And they are safe because they can be forensically examined. E-signature execution is familiar and comes natural to all ages, in contrast to other available electronic identification procedures like one-time passwords, cell phone text, smart cards, and so on. The execution of an e-signature provides the same familiarity as signing with a normal liquid ink pen, and that is without sacrifice to security. Plus, it provides an insight to more characteristics to internal fraud examiners or forensics experts, as mentioned earlier. Of course, there is national legislation depending on the country that deals with these signatures. But in the European area, we have the eIDAS regulation that dictates the requirements and the status of different types of electronic signatures. The eIDAS regulation states that an electronic signature can be a PIN code, a one-time password, email signatures, electronic identity cards, scanned signatures, symmetric or public key cryptography, and biometric signatures, meaning e-signatures. It is very interesting to see how the eIDAS regulation uses the handwritten signature as the standard for validity and legality as described in Article 25, paragraph 2. A qualified electronic signature shall have the equivalent legal effect of a handwritten signature. Further down, on Article 26, requirements for advanced electronic signatures, it is stated that the advanced electronic signature must meet the following requirements: that it is uniquely linked to the signatory, that it is capable of identifying the signatory, and that it is created using electronic signature creation data that the signature can, with a high level of confidence, use under his sole control. Those 3 out of the 4 requirements apply only to the biometric signature by the nature of the biometric signature. We also need to mention at this point that the eIDAS regulatory framework is under review. The open consultation period was from 24th of July until the 2nd of October of 2020, and we are waiting to see what the review will be. In my opinion, this proves the importance of the electronic signature situation and the recognition of that importance from the European Union perspective. In the European area, we have the European Network of Forensic Science Institutes, also known as ENFSI. ENFSI is consisted of different working groups depending on the forensic discipline. The working group that deals with handwriting and signatures is called ENFEX, European Network of Forensic Handwriting Experts. And just like the other working groups, ENFEX has composed a best practice manual for the forensic examination of handwriting. The recent update, the edition 3 of the best practice manual for the forensic examination of handwriting, which became publicly available on the 18th of January 2021, includes Appendix number 5. Appendix number 5 was written by the members of the STEFA Group 8 research group and consists of a detailed methodological approach on the examination of authenticity of eSignatures. The inclusion of this appendix to the latest version of the best practice manual completes the circle, as now the forensic expert has the tools to examine the authenticity of the e-signature just like he did for the pen and paper signatures for so many years. So it is safe to say that the e-signature is the future, but the future is now. Recently, Wacom provided their EMR sensor technology to well-established pen manufacturers. This led to the creation of devices like the Lamy All-Star Black EMR pen, the Mitsubishi Hi-Uni Digital Pencil, and the Studless Norris Digital Pencil that have the Wacom EMR sensor embedded in them. These devices have a very large range of compatibility and interoperability. Our laboratory has been exploring this aspect and calibrating some of them. Furthermore, we believe that it's these devices that will allow the public to understand the equality and familiarity of e-signatures to handwritten signatures with liquid ink. Think for a moment. Do you have only one pen at home, or do you have several? And if you have several, do you have the same type of pen several times, or do you have different ones? Individuals want to be different. They want to be unique, and this is expressed in their consumer decisions. These devices allow the consumer to choose a different EMR stylus for the day-to-day routines. So we've seen how the liquid signature enjoys an established scientific and legal status. And we've also understood how this status is transferred to the e-signature. What remains to be discussed is why we should choose e-signatures over other types of authentication. As discussed briefly earlier in the articles of the ADES regulation, all previous non-biometric identity validation and/or verification methods are subject to decoupling because they do not link data to the individual interacting with the institution, and therefore they can be used by other people. Other biometric data, like iris and fingerprints, do link data to the individual but do not provide proof of intent. It is only the signature, being handwritten with a liquid ink or an e-signature, that provides both features. So e-signature is the bridge from liquid ink to digital ink. But that is not a bridge to be crossed. It's a bridge we have already crossed. And as I said earlier, E-signatures are the future, and the future is now. This is me signing for the renewal of my cell phone contract using an Lamy All-Star EMR pen on a Wacom STU530 digitizer. The future is now. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope this video helps you demystify and understand the e-signatures and their importance in our day-to-day business. Thank you very much.